Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today, we're going to do a comparison. We're going to compare two day-date watches, the NIBOSI 2628 and the LGXIGE LM021. At the wrist check, I just finished my morning workout, so I'm wearing my Timex Ironman. And Grogu's wearing my Smith & Wesson 1464. I just reviewed that watch, so if you haven't seen the review, be sure to check it out. It's June, and Grogu asked Ben Solo what he was going to get Han Solo for Father's Day. Grogu suggested a watch made of grade 5 titanium. Ben said he wants the biggest bang for his buck, so he was thinking weapons-grade plutonium. Okay, here's the two watches. We have the NIBOSI on the left, and the LGXIGE, the LG, let's just say LG from now on. We have the LG on the right. The NIBOSI came in a box, but these NIBOSIs always come in this type of box, and they're not great. And in all honesty, if I was going to keep this watch and not sell it, I would probably throw this box away. There's nothing special about it. And the LG didn't come in a box. But as you can see, they are both homages to the Rolex Day-Date President watch. And this is, I got the same colorway just for comparison purposes, and as you can see, they both have the Roman numerals. Not all of them do. I paid $16.99 for the NIBOSI and $25.99 for the LG, but during the current sale right now, I found this NIBOSI for $13.59, and the cheapest that I can find this LG is $23.99, and it wasn't discounted from the store I bought it from. I just found it at a different store a little bit cheaper. So this really isn't on sale right now, but this one is. The dimensions of the watches are very similar. This is 39.5 millimeters, and this is 39.3 millimeters. This has a 47.6 millimeter leg to leg, and this is 47.7. This one's 13.3 millimeters thick. This is 13.7, so this is a hair thicker, but as you can see, the crystal sticks out more, and that's the only reason why. They both have a 20 millimeter leg width, and this weighs 106 grams, and this is 105, and they both had 3 links removed. So very similar in size. The bezels are about the same. Then we look at the dials. It's funny, when I look at my eye, it looks like the LG is just a hair greener than the NIBOSI, but it really isn't enough to, you only notice it when they're side by side. And then we have the day windows. Look at the NIBOSI. I think the font on the day window just looks a little bit more pleasant than the font on the LG. So I think I like the NIBOSI day window a little bit more. Then on the NIBOSI, it says water resistant date. Then the LG has their logo. Then it says Picova design underneath the LG name. I've never heard of Picova design. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. If that's supposed to be a parent brand, I don't know. Then on the bottom of the NIBOSI, it says superlative chronometry. There's a Y at the end of chronometer. Then it says officially certified, and we know darn well it isn't. And then the LG, it says 5 ATM waterproof. But if you look at the F is missing, so it says waterproof. Then it says 21 joules, but this is a quartz movement, so we know darn well we don't have 21 joules. So that's just a little bit of copying from one watch to another and not caring what it says. Then we have the minute track. They're both train tracks, but the NIBOSI, it's a little bit darker, a little bit, I would say, stands out a little bit more. And the LG is a little bit thinner, a little bit weaker. And then we have the indices. They're about the same on both. I would say that the NIBOSIs, they're a little bit bolder, but you only really notice when they're side by side. And then the hands are very similar, about the same. And then we have a date at the 3. Now the NIBOSI has a half index next to the date, and the LG does not. But look at the NIBOSI though. The Cyclops is not centered at all over the date, and the LG it is. So I think that looks so much better. They both do a lousy job at magnifying, but this is so off center. You have to tilt the watch really to see the date. It's not very good at all there. And then they both have a sunburst effect on the dial too. But they're both not bad looking for the price. Then they both have push-pull crowns, and they're about identical in appearance. And they both have good crown action. I mean, it feels a little bit loose when you turn it. No, actually it doesn't. But when you go to press it in, there's no annoying minute hand jump on either one of them. So that's, see this one, the crown action is a lot looser, but when you go to press it in, I don't see any jump. So that's good. That's the worst thing about very affordable quartz watches is the minute hand jump. And then we have the crystals. They're both flat mineral glass. As you can see, the LG sticks out just a hair more, and that's why the watch is thicker. That's the only reason. And then we have the cases. They're both a plated alloy, and they're very similar in size and tone. So there's not much difference between the cases either. Then let's look at the case backs. The NIBOSI has writing on the case back. It says NIBOSI 1985, stainless steel. Of course, the case back is stainless steel. The watch is not. 3 ATM water resistant and quartz movement. And the NIBOSI has a little pry slot so you can remove the case easily. The LG completely blank. And look at that though, there is no slot to remove the case back. So you have to pry it off. And I tried to do it without scratching the crap out of it, and I was just failing miserably, so I gave up trying to pry the case back off. But I verified from another reviewer that it is indeed not a screw down, because I didn't have a tool big enough for this coinage. But no, it is a press-on case back. It's just no slot. And that's a shame, because when it's time to change the battery, you're going to have to pry this off somehow. Underneath the case backs, we have two different movements. The NIBOSI has a Chinese-made SL30, and the LG has a TMI VJ55. Now, the only reason I know that is because I looked at somebody else's video. Because once again, I didn't pry this case back off because I was scratching up the watch pretty good and didn't want to go any further. I need to find some kind of plastic, hard plastic thing I can pry this off with so I don't scratch up the watch. Either that or maybe use a screwdriver or something and really get under there. Then we have the bracelets. The NIBOSI has protruding end links and they're hollow, and the LG has inverted end links and they're hollow. Then they both have these 3-link fully articulating links, but if you look at the NIBOSI, it's brushed on the outer links, and the LG, they're polished on the outer links. But they're very similar in, the links are very similar in shape and material. It's just one's brushed, one's not. And they both have push pin adjusters, but unfortunately the NIBOSI doesn't have very many adjustment links. In fact, I removed 3 and I only have 1 left. So if your wrist is much smaller than mine, you're not going to be able to wear this watch. I do have 1 hole of micro adjust and 1 link to remove. And I have a 7.5-inch wrist. So if your wrist is 7 or smaller, this is going to be way loose on you, and you can't remove any more links. I guess about the only thing you could do is maybe you could get another clasp without micro adjust. That would be a hair shorter than this one, but this is already a pretty short clasp, so you couldn't get much shorter. Now the LG though, I have 3 more links to remove, so you can wear this if you have a smaller wrist. I also have 1 hole of micro adjust to go in. Then when it comes to the clasp, they're both pressed and they're both pretty cheap. But as you can see, the LG has a polished inner and this has brushed, and this one just looks nicer, feels a little bit sturdier. Then this clasp is not signed and this one is, but this one's a hair longer than this one. So you could probably take this clasp off of this one and make this bracelet shorter if it's too long for you. Here's the NIBOSI on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice, it wears nice. They're only 105 grams, so they're not very heavy. And fully articulating bracelet, it contours to the wrist good, so it's comfortable. And here's the LG on my 7.5-inch wrist. Once again, they're very similar in shape and size. And this one I removed 3 links and it's just a hair tighter than the other one. But it's still very comfortable because it's fully articulating links. So it really contours to the wrist and they weigh about the same. And I'm not going to show you either one of these watches on a strap because that would be a sin to put a President on a strap. What do I like about the NIBOSI more than I do the LG? Well, it's more affordable for one thing. I like the day window better. I just think the font looks better. I like the fact the case back has a notch so you can actually remove it. And I think this minute marker train track just looks a little bit nicer than the LG. What does the LG do better? It has a Japanese movement. There are more links to remove, so it will fit a smaller wrist. Has a little bit better clasp. The dial's just a hair greener. The Cyclops is at least centered, even though it doesn't magnify very well. And it has inverted end links. So not only will it fit a smaller wrist because you can remove more links, it will fit a smaller wrist too because of inverted end links. And what's about equal on these watches? Well, the case is about equal. The bezel, hands, crown, and indices are about equal. They both have fully articulating bracelets with push pins. They're both about the same size and weight. They look very similar, and both have stupid stuff on the dial. So there you have it, a comparison of the 2 watches. In all honesty, the LG is just a little bit better watch, but then again, the LG costs more. But the NIBOSI is no slouch, but if your wrist is 7 or smaller, I don't think you can wear it. And once again, who wants to put a day-date President watch on a strap? Well, thank you for watching my comparison video of the NIBOSI 2628 and the LGXIGE LM021, and I will be back with an unboxing video. I got something pretty good in the mail the other day. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like either one of these watches, I will leave an affiliate link, and if you buy it through the affiliate link, I'll get a tiny commission, and they all add up. Bye.